Hi all, today we will talk about encapsulation in Python. Encapsulation means to restrict anyone to accidentally modify something. In the encapsulation, we are restrict the access to the method or to the attribute from outer scope of class in the Python. When we say that we have encapsulated any Python attribute or any Python method of the class, it means that we are restricting the access towards that particular method, towards that particular attribute from outer scope of the class. In Python, if you want to go for encapsulation, there are two ways through which you can do that. One is either prefixing the method name or the attribute name with single underscore, or prefixing the method name or the attribute name with double underscore. The basic difference between single underscore and double underscore is single underscore will make the method or the attribute private, and you can access that particular method, that particular attribute by, let's say, instance name or an object name dot single underscore attribute name or method name. If you talk about double underscore, then it will also be used to make the method, the attribute private, but with name mangling. So what is the meaning of name mangling? In name mangling, Python will convert the attribute name or the method name and prefix it with the class name. So for example, over here you can see that where my cursor is moving, that it will change the name of the attribute or the method with single underscore class name double underscore attribute name, or single underscore class name double underscore method name. This will help us to restrict the access as well as to restrict anyone else accidentally modifying the attribute or the method. To access those method having double underscore as prefix, we need to use instance name dot single underscore class name double underscore attribute name. Same way, if you want to access method, then instance name dot single underscore class name double underscore method name. It will be instead of the standard way where we are accessing any attribute, any method via instance name dot that particular method name or the attribute name. And the use case of this encapsulation is like we want to restrict anyone outside of the class scope to modify that method, to modify that attribute. Over here, I have defined a class called cal1. This is the docstring, like what are the parameters accepting. Then this is the my init method of class cal, which is accepting two parameters a and b. And this is my private attribute self dot double underscore c. I have defined the value is a private variable. Again, this is a private method summation with prefix of double underscore, which will provide me sum of two numbers a comma b, that is a plus b. And this is another method, private method with prefix single underscore, and it will provide me the multiplication of two numbers a and b. Again, this method summation, which is having two underscore as prefix, will be accessible within the class only. It won't be accessible outside of that particular class, not even within the subclass. This method having a single underscore as prefix will be accessible within subclass as well, main class and subclass. So I will execute this cell. Then I have created a subclass of main class called cal1. So cal1 is my base class or superclass or parent class, and cal inheritance is a child class. Now over here I have created an object or an instance of this child class called cal inheritance by providing two values 5 comma 9. Over here in the next cell we will try to access a private method called summation, and you can see that we have got this error that cal inheritance object has no attribute underscore summation. The reason being, this is a private method and cannot be accessible from outside scope of the class, and hence this object or this instance is not able to access it. Same way, this is a private attribute, private variable, and again we will get the same error that cal inheritance object has no attribute underscore c. Now if I try to execute the next cell having multiply method, so you can see that I am able to access it. So as per the definition, the method name, all the attribute name having single underscore can be accessible via subclass as well, and cal is an instance or an object of the subclass, and hence we are able to access it. Okay, so I will be able to get the answer. Now Python is not that much strict in terms of encapsulation. It means that if I want to access the private method or the private attribute deliberately, we can also access it. To showcase it, I will execute this cell. So first we will see that what are the methods and what are the attributes that I can access using this cal object or cal instance. So like single underscore cal1 double underscore c. So this is the private attribute that I can access. Single underscore cal1 double underscore summation. So this is the private method of class cal1 which I can access using this nomenclature, and other methods that I can access using this cal object. Now as you can see that this is my object name or instance name dot single underscore, then this is my class name cal1, this is the basic class or parent class or main class, then double underscore, then method name, so it is summation. And over here you can see that it is the object name or instance name, then single underscore, then it is the class name, then double underscore c, which is a private attribute. As I have executed this shell, you can see that I am able to access the result of summation method, as well as I am able to access the value of the attribute. Over here I have redefined the class called cal1. So what we are doing over here is instead of accessing these private methods and private attributes directly, we are trying to access it within the class, so within the scope of that particular class. So what I have done over here is, this is my init method where I have defined a private attribute called c. This is my private method summation, this is a private method multiply, and then over here I have defined a public method called call summation, which will call private method called summation, and this is a public method called call multiply, which will call private method called multiply. This is a legitimate way through which you can access a private method from public method. You can access private method via public method. So I will execute this cell, then again I will define a child class with class inheritance, then I will execute this cell which will create an object or an instance of this child class. Over here we will see that what are the methods and the attributes that we can access via this object. We can access this c private attribute, summation private method, and with this all other methods and all other attributes. Over here I will execute this cell, so you can see that I am able to access this private variable, private attribute from public method, as well as I am able to access private method from public methods. Over here we are going to see getter and setter method, which will be helpful to change the value of private attribute. So first over here in this cell, what I have done is, this is my object name cal dot double underscore c equal to high. So over here I am trying to change the value of this private attribute c from this is a private variable to high. Okay, and then I will try to call this particular variable, private variable, via this public method and try to see what is the value it is going to provide. And then what I have done is, I have accessed that private attribute, I have accessed that private variable via this way, via name mangling, and then provided it a value called hello, and then again I have tried to find the value that this private attribute is going to provide. Let's execute this cell. As you can see that over here self dot double underscore c, this is a private variable. Over here the value of this private variable has not changed in this way, but when we have done like this via name mangling, like cal dot single underscore class name double underscore attribute name equal to hello, so you can see that the value of this c private attribute has been changed from this is a private variable to hello. Okay, so this is the like one of the way, but the legitimate or correct way is to use getter and setter methods within the class. Over here we define the class cal1 with this getter and setter method. So this is my initialization method, which will accept three values called a, b, and c, and then over here I have defined private attribute c, which will be set as per the value provided over here. Then over here I have defined a method called get c value, so it will just provide you the value of c whenever this method is going to be called. Then over here I have defined a method called set c value, so it will change the value of this private attribute c whenever being called. So I will execute this cell. Now I will create an object or an instance of this particular class. So this is the object called cal1, this is then instance, and over here we have provided the value 5, 9, and high. So when we execute this cell and we call get c value method, we'll get the value high, because over here I have provided the value high, so it has set the value high for that particular private attribute. Now over here I am accessing the method called set c value and providing the value like hello. So what it will do is, it will change the value of that private attribute from high to hello. So when I have accessed this get c value method, I've got this value hello. So via this set c value method, we have changed the attribute value of c from high to hello. Okay, so today we have seen encapsulation in Python with getter and setter method. That's it for the day. Thank you everyone for watching this video.